Welcome to another edition of SKNIS Week in Review. The Week in Review highlights the top stories of the work of the government of St. Kitts and Nevis for the past week. Here's a look at some of the highlights for the week of March 9th to 15th. Tourism continues to grow. Government ensures housing remains affordable to low-income families. JNF honors long-standing employees. And the Federation hopes to be removed from EU's blacklist. I am your presenter, Sherma Matthew. Tourism in St. Kitts continues to record impressive growth as the island gains more positive publicity from the international press and high ratings from discerning travelers. At his recent monthly press conference, Prime Minister Dr. The Honorable Timothy Harris gave an update on cruise and stayover arrivals for the first 2 months of 2018.
The St. Christopher Year and Supports Authority data show that for January to February 2018, 25,744 arrivals were recorded by year. This was up 9%, or 2,059 over the 23,685 recorded for the comparative period in 2017. Our seaport recorded 163 cruise vessel calls, which were up 41% over the 116 for the same period recorded January to February 2017. Cruise passenger arrivals for the first 2 months are up 18% at 321,800 versus 271,829 arrivals recorded for the comparative period in 2017.
Government's efforts to expand home ownership, particularly for persons in the low-income bracket, were highlighted at a town hall meeting held this week at the St. Johnston's Community Center. Minister of Human Settlement, the Honorable Eugene Hamilton, said that although the houses are bigger and better than what was previously offered by the National Housing Corporation NHC, government was mindful of the price tag that successful candidates would be required to pay. He cited a house that cost EC $150,000. The Josephine France General Hospital's 50th anniversary celebrations came to a fitting end with the hard-working staff members of the health institution recognized for their long service and dedication at an award ceremony held at the St. Kitts Eco Park on March 10th. Minister of State with Responsibility for Health, the Honorable Wendy Phipps, stated, "The core theme for the anniversary, which is 50 years of progress, 50 years of endurance, and 50 years of quality health services," and said that progress must continue to robustly confront the challenges to a healthy population.
Our most formidable challenge still is the issue of non-communicable diseases, and it is for that reason why we would have taken the time, especially within the last 3 to 8 years, in terms of the introduction of services such as hemo and peritoneal dialysis, services such as the oncology unit and so forth, the addition of an ICU, and there is still much more to be done in the medium to long term, including at least a basic cardiac center so that we can better respond to the needs of our citizens who continue to be confronted by non-communicable diseases, which happen to be our leading cause of death and disability in St. Kitts and Nevis.
The government of St. Kitts and Nevis maintains that the Twin Island Federation is a committed and fully cooperative jurisdiction in the context of international tax transparency. This comes as the Federation was one of the 3 Caribbean islands added to the European Union's EU list of non-cooperative jurisdictions for tax purposes on Tuesday, March 13, 2018. The other 2 countries listed were the Bahamas and the U.S. Virgin Islands. In the case of St. Kitts and Nevis, the only area of concern from the EU is in respect of fair taxation where 1. A jurisdiction should have no preferential tax measures that could be regarded as harmful, and 2, a jurisdiction should not facilitate offshore structures or arrangements aimed at attracting profits which do not reflect real economic activity in the jurisdiction. Financial Secretary in the government of St. Kitts and Nevis, Mrs. Hilary Hazel, made an official statement in response to the EU listing of St. Kitts and Nevis as a non-cooperative jurisdiction.
During the process of engaging with the EU, concrete commitments were made by the Federation to amend the relevant legislation to address the EU's concerns. The Federation remains optimistic that these commitments would persuade the EU partners to remove the Federation from the list of non-cooperative jurisdictions for tax purposes and allow for a framework of cooperation and dialogue moving forward.
Senior delegates from the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union, ECCU, concluded a 2-day meeting in St. Kitts on the future of social security systems in the sub-region, as the need to mitigate risk, ensure the safety of the funds, and grow their investment portfolios become even more vital. Senior Minister and the Minister responsible for Social Security, the Honorable Vance Amory, addressed the regional delegates at a brief opening ceremony and underscored the value of the forum, given that statistics reveal that more than 90% of elderly persons in the ECCU rely on Social Security as the main or only source of income.
This investment forum is therefore a testament to the sub-region's commitment in ensuring the quality of life and survival of our elderly populations and other vulnerable groups such as women and the poor, and the sustainability of Social Security for the benefit of our posterity.
The Pan American Health Organization, PAHO, donated a substantial number of medical supplies to the Ministry of Health in St. Kitts. A handing over ceremony was held at the JN France General Hospital on March 13, where it was noted that the donation was facilitated by Kittitian and PAHO Foundation Partnership and Development Consultant Minova Sadler. Minister of Health Eugene Hamilton noted what was special about the achievement.
This occasion is one where we have seen the involvement of our citizens who live abroad, who have joined to give back something to this country. While it is true it is a PAHO contribution, we cannot ignore the role being played by yourself. I understand your engagement with Wendy over the last few weeks as you prepared or helped to deliver this donation to us. It is significant because only a few weeks ago there was another presentation at the annual dinner of the Prime Minister where Dr. Redmond, who is a national of St. Kitts and Nevis, who grew up barefooted like most of us, who had pulled himself up because of the great equalizer, his education, and is now a neurosurgeon in North America. And when you consider that people like Dr. Redmond put so much into it to ensure that we have the MRI scan here in St. Kitts, which was hitherto not available to us, and the fact that so many persons have benefited from it, we want to say it is good to see our nationals who live abroad getting engaged in giving back to this community.
The Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court, ECSC, is also celebrating its 50-year anniversary. The concluding activity was a public exhibit which was mounted at the Sir Lee L. Moore Judicial Complex. A wide cross of the population visited to catch a glimpse of the rich history. Chief Justice, Her Ladyship, the Honorable Dame Janice M. Pereira, spoke about the motivation to mount the exhibition.
This is to really ensure that the public has an opportunity to come and to view the exhibits, particularly the children of the Federation, to sort of gain a sense of how the court works. The basis on which it proceeds with its work. These things we consider to be important to an understanding of the function and the role of the judiciary in any state. And so we have this exhibition here. We've had exhibitions in other states, in St. Lucia, in Antigua, the Virgin Islands, with the idea that we, as far as possible, have a very broad public outreach.
The Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court was established in 1967. Anniversary activities began in September 2017. An important component of information technology IT, particularly computer code and coding/programming, is expected to be rolled out in primary schools across the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis in the not-too-distant future. The Honorable Vincent Byron, Minister with responsibility for information technology, said that one of the areas that the government has to focus on is the development of the Federation's people, especially the youth, hence the importance of the initiative being rolled out at such an early stage in life.
We have been having discussions with the Ministry of Education, those of us in ICTs, to be able to start teaching code and coding to primary school kids, so that from 5 and 6 year olds who today are adept in using cell phones, tablets, will get to understand the basic rudiment of how they work, how to do applications, how to develop and skills that in 5 to 10 years we would be having a society that we can say is a digital society.
The Honorable Sean Richards, Deputy Prime Minister and the Minister of Education, supported the initiative and said that it is important to implement the program in primary schools. He noted that his ministry will work closely with the relevant stakeholders to ensure that it comes to fruition, as it would prove beneficial to young people and the country on the whole. Thursday, March 15th, marked the commencement of the St. Kitts and Nevis's first phase of the Canada-Caribbean Seasonal Agriculture Workers Program, CCSAWP, for 2018, as the first batch of participants departed the Federation for Canada to assist Canadian farm employers during the planting and harvesting seasons. The group of 5 who departed St. Kitts on March 15th were given an auspicious send-off at the Robert Llewellyn Bracher International Airport by officials from the Ministry of Labour, which coordinates the recruitment of local workers for the program. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Labour, Ron Dublin Collins, expressed his delight and that of the ministry for being able to assist persons in this venture.
Excited for the young men who have this opportunity to go to Canada again this year, and for the increased numbers that we're able to work with for the new year. And that has come as a result of the work between the Ministry of Labour, the Department of Labour, and the office in Canada.
Mr. Collins said that government officials have confidence in the program's ability to enhance the livelihoods and cultural appreciation for participants. As such, several initiatives were introduced or changed to make the program more attractive to locals based on feedback they received during debriefing meetings upon the workers' return to the Federation. This year, the introduction of polo shirts that highlight the workers are from St. Kitts and Nevis was one such initiative. Thanks for viewing SKNIS Week in Review. I am Sherma Matthew. See you next week as we continue to update you, the general public, on what's happening in and around the Federation.
Stay up to date with news, programs, and activities of the government with SKNIS. Like us on Facebook. Listen to us on SoundCloud. Follow us on Twitter. and watch our videos on YouTube. Connect with us today. SKNIS, St. Kitts and Nevis Information Service.